review on Paolo Banchero's fifth foul, and how did that swing the outcome of this game?
Oh, it definitely swung the series. It definitely swung the game. I have no idea what the explanation was. He came into his path. All I saw was Paolo getting an elbow to the face or backed into the face, and he got to the foul. And that was a game changer right there. Your best player picks up his fifth foul in the third quarter. It becomes tough to come back from that moment, but our guys, continued to fight. We missed a ton of shots. They did a hell of a job getting down on the break and hitting some big shots in that situation.
Jamahl, what did you see there on Paolo's third and fourth fouls within the preceding 90 seconds?
What I saw was the fact that he was driving to the basket and not getting calls. And in those moments, there's a level of frustration that can kick in when they're impeding your progress to the rim. And so they give him one charge, and then they give another one where he's a touch foul. Again, and then at the same time he goes to the rim, they're bodying him out of the way, and there's no call. And again, they see it, we see it, but it doesn't get hit. And then he picks up his fifth foul on what could have possibly been an offensive foul. I don't know. That's where it becomes a little bit frustrating because I don't understand what we're calling in that moment.
Perhaps you'll speak to the team about the overall season tomorrow or the day after that, but what was your message to your team about the season they've had and the effort they've put in the immediate aftermath of this game, if you felt it was appropriate?
We spoke a little bit afterwards. Despite all of the things that happened with the game, despite what we think is good call, bad call, right call, wrong call, those are all part of the game of basketball, and we understand that. But what we did say, and I said to this team, was I'm extremely proud of the way that they competed and represented the Orlando Magic all year. And you can go down the list for the things that have happened to this group and every reason to understand that we could have felt sorry for ourselves, and we never did. When Paolo goes down, guys stepped up. When Franz went down, guys stepped up. When Jaylen went down, guys stepped up. When Mo went down, guys stepped up. When J.I. went down, guys stepped up. When Wendell went down, guys stepped up. Name the list. Goga goes down, guys stepped up. Everybody found a way. And that's who this group has continued to be and will continue to be moving forward. No matter the circumstances, no matter the adversity, no matter what you're hit with in a season, you find ways to step up and step into the moment that you're called upon.
It's kind of been part of the story all season about the team's struggles shooting from three. There have been a lot of games like this one where there are a lot of open looks that just won't go down. How do you think the team handled the frustration of that of those misses, or what? How would that have changed the game, or just how do you kind of reckon with the shooting struggles in a game of this magnitude?
In this moment, it's hard to judge exactly when those things hit us, because as Paolo fouled out, it changed the way in which we played. Different lineup, different rotation, trying to find the right moment, trying to find the right rotation in that moment. But again, we were up at halftime with the quote-unquote shooting woes and with them being on the free throw line a ton. So again, it's those moments. Yes, we see them, we're alert, aware of them, but we continue to fight through by defending the right way, trying to get easy baskets. That didn't happen tonight in the second half for multiple reasons.
Jamahl, there was a sequence in the second quarter where Boston made a run, and then later in the third they went up 10 before a stoppage. Why not consider calling a timeout before it gets too much momentum their way?
It was a 10-point game, correct? When I called the timeout, 60-70, called the timeout, and that was to settle us down. And so now in that moment, they go on another run, and then P gets that foul, and then we're in another situation. And so I think looking at it, you can burn it a couple times, but you're also understanding that these guys were getting great looks. If they were not getting good looks and we weren't at the rim, there's a definite reason to look at another one. But I think we got great looks, great shots, and that ball going in the hole, and they had the run-outs because of long shots, long rebounds, or misses at the rim. Those created some easy baskets.
So there wasn't a consideration to call timeout maybe before it was like a 5-point game or a 6-point game.
I'd always say this: if we weren't getting good looks and I didn't like what we were getting, I would call the timeout if it looked like the guys were in a different space. But we got some great looks. We executed some plays. We got some wide open shots. And I hear you on the point. But if we weren't getting the looks that we needed, I absolutely would have thought about calling a timeout. But then as it got to 10, that was when it was like we couldn't find a way to put the ball in the hole. Then you slow it down.
Jamahl, that's obviously one of the all-time offenses on the other side. How do you assess the way you guys were able to slow them, especially from 3 over the course of this series? And then obviously in the third and fourth there, they were able to break out from 3 finally. What changed there, you feel like?
For a team that averaged 120 all year, high-power offense off three-point shooting, I mean, I think we did a very good job holding them to overall in the series, either 105 or 102 for the series. I think we've done a great job, and a team that shoots almost 50 threes a game, holding them to average about 30 per game. I think our guys did a great job at home. We held them to 9 threes a game made. Here was 14. Our ability to do that, I give our guys a ton of credit for following the game plan, locking in to exactly what we needed to do.
What did Franz show you tonight and throughout the series that just stood out to you?
I mean, his ability to take on all challenges, guarding, team's best players, being able to score on both on that end, the offensive side of the ball, just his toughness, his resilience to find ways to get things done, no matter the circumstances.
Jamahl, perhaps this is too soon in the aftermath of the series, but projecting forward, what can a series where you guys battled Boston the way you did throughout these 5 games do for your group moving forward?
Well, you have to take the lesson. You have to reflect on it, and as you go forward this summer, and not look at an excuse, but how do you improve on what you need to for the next season? Like, what did they do so well that you gave yourself a chance, but you didn't get over the hump? I think you have to be able to look back and reflect on specific things that we need to work on as players as well as coaches to be able to see what we need to do better and how we can get over that hump.
You talked a little bit this morning about the weight Paolo carried in this series. How disappointing is it for him that he wasn't able to be out there for much of that second half in a close game? And, what do you take away from this series in terms of his growth?
I think he's grown a ton, and he's going to continue to grow. I think his ability to put a lot of that burden on his shoulders to try to do the right thing, to put guys in position to perform at a high level, understanding how defenses are covering him, what he needs to do, and how he's able to do that. I think this is a time that, when you look back this summer, you reflect on it exactly how we're going to have to work, what the things we're going to have to do. It's ultimate growth for him and for all of our young guys to see exactly what they need to do moving forward, because you just went toe-to-toe with the champs, for 5 games, and understanding you're right there in each game, and then there's just small margins of error. So how do you continue to work to get better at the little things that we need to do?
Mentioned some of the specific things that you guys will have to work on this summer. Is that something that you think about right now, or do you just kind of look towards that in the future, or is there something that kind of sticks out to you right now?
You process this game. You process what these guys have done all year. I go back to it just being very proud of the group that we have and what they've done, and their mindset all year, I think, is the biggest thing that stands out. There's obviously on-court work that we're always going to have to do, but I think the ability to have the mindset to get through anything that happens is very big for us.
Good. All right, thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.